So we're back here on 970 WFLA. When we aren't on air, make sure to check out our social channels. We're on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube at The Duncan Duo and Facebook.com/The Duncan Duo Show. Want to move next to talking about FHA condo financing. The president signed a bill that was already approved by the House and the Senate that was heavily supported by NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors. It's noted as a significant step in eliminating barriers to affordable mortgage condo financing. We've talked about condo financing a lot on the show, and it's one of the markets that I think is still undervalued in Tampa Bay. We bought a condo a few weeks ago for like $37,000. It rents for $800 a month. I mean, that's and we bought it cash because you can't get financing in so many of these condos, so the prices are still so depressed because the buyer pool is shrunk to such a small amount of people that have cash to buy them. So, to me, condo financing is still, or condo values are still so low, undervalued compared to the market, and they're still so close to bottom. They're not, they haven't risen like single family homes and that sort of thing because of the financing challenges, to where, I view it as such a great investment opportunity. But buyers have been avoiding them and have had to avoid them because, first time home buyers that are typically who would buy a condo in Tampa can't, because the financing is so challenging, or because they don't have 20% down and they need to buy something that, gives them 3.5% down. So now it looks like there's more, pressure to loosen up some of the requirements through FHA to allow condo financing. And I think, David, you'd probably be the first to say that, people aren't buying condos specifically because they don't have the down payment. I mean, that's really, I think, what it boils down to most of the time.
Well, I think that you're right. I mean, there's a lot of people who basically have steered away from condos just because the financing is a challenge. And I think that they've been asking for some relief on this for quite a while. I mean, FHA in particular, FHA is a huge segment of the market. Basically, there's conventional financing, there's FHA financing for most first-time home buyers, and you can go either way. FHA is typically a little bit better for those with potentially maybe some credit issues.
Right.
Also, it obviously has a very low down payment, 3.5%. Conventional does as well, and to be honest, there are condos that we can do conventionally that can also be 3% down payment, 5% down payment. You just don't know until you get into the.
And I think that's the issue. Some of the requirements that FHA was replacing on condos, one of them specifically was the recertification process lowers FHA's owner occupancy requirement from 50% to 35%. So condos, if they didn't have, and I think conventional runs pretty close to, they really like healthy owner. They don't like to see a lot of investors or rentals, which is a problem because when our market crashed, the only people that were buying up condos were investors. So many of our condo communities are mostly investors. You're not going to turn that into an owner-occupant community at some point unless you let people finance them, So they've lowered that requirement, which I think will help some.
So to be clear, with the conventional financing, it actually doesn't matter with us. Now, with some big banks, you'll find that they have their own overlays of the 50% and whatnot. With us, it doesn't matter if you're buying it as a primary residence. We can go conventional if it fits the other guidelines, which typically
right.
that the condominium has enough for reserves, they're collecting enough in their budget and whatnot. But what this article is saying and what's going to come down the pipe, it hasn't come down yet, but FHA basically, they will have there used to be spot approvals for condos on
right.
FHA, and that kind of went by the wayside.
Yep.
It looks like they're going to bring that back where they can do that, make that process a little easier, and lessen the previous restrictions that used to be on that for FHA. So if you had some credit issues and whatnot, you may be able to qualify for FHA. Basically, if you're somebody that has to go FHA, that could then be an option for you. However, if you're still looking for condos, there's actually quite a few ways to do it. A lot of people don't want to go that route because it's an unknown. Similar to flood insurance, we don't know what the flood insurance is going
right.
to be. We don't know what the
condo
approvability will be until we take a look at the HOA docs and see exactly.
And I think one of the things that I like about this is it's a domino effect, because once a few of these have closings where they're FHA approved, then conventional will start touching them. They'll become more knowledgeable about. People will know, oh, that's a building you can get financing in, or that's a building. Right now, it's like really, it's hard to know if you can get financing in any building, but once you start having some closings and some of these, this is the first step along what I suspect is a few-year period of condo financing getting looser and condo values going up. So
yes,
if you're someone who's thinking about buying a condo, don't wait, because I think the values are going to rise. If you're someone who's investing in condos, keep buying them, because I think the values are going to go up. I think that they're going to, they traditionally trail single-family homes in Tampa, 10, 20, 30%. for equivalent square footage in an equivalent neighborhood. It varies because what the community has as amenities and location and all these things. But right now they're way off. I mean, you've got condos in neighborhoods where you've got a $50,000 condo for the same square footage for a $225,000 house. I mean, it's never been that far of a spread before. It's a humongous spread between equivalent square footage condo and equivalent square footage single family home. And that will eventually, this is a step in the right direction to start not just FHA, but conventional loosening guidelines, because once FHA does it, conventional will do it too, because conventional will want to stay in front of them. It's a path going down to where I think it'll help condo values start to creep up. So definitely a good sign for the condo market.
Yeah, definitely is good news. Just want to be clear that the FHA movement hasn't officially happened yet, but it is still actually very possible and likely to be able to get a condo financed financially or conventionally.
Conventional.
And we have a lot of programs, so don't just believe exactly what your big bank is telling you. Give me a call.
Yeah, and that's
438-3819 if you have any questions.
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing. Like, every lender is different. One lender may say no, and that doesn't mean someone else can't do it. So we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to talk more about the local real estate market. We've got some more real estate news. And after a quick break here on the Duncan Duo Show on 970 WFLA.